Right, hello and welcome to another edition of Credit Counseling Singapore's Munch and Learn Ask Away Dinner Edition. Right, this is where we'll be sharing with you some bite-sized money management tips while you are enjoying your dinner. All right, I am Firdaus. I'm from the Outreach, Education and Research Department of CCS, and tonight I also have with me
Yes, this is Jonathan. A very, very good evening and welcome to our talk show. I think it's a talk show.
Something like that lah.
Okay,
So Jonathan and I will be your host, and this segment is very short. It's just about half an hour or so, and we will be also reviewing some of the questions that has been input via our
that's right.
Menti app in a while. And the topic that we have for tonight: no cash. Should I buy now and pay later?
Okay, so at the end of this webinar, we will also be providing you a QR code and a link in the Facebook live comment box. What we want you to do is click on them or scan on them to help us fill up a short online feedback survey. Now, it is very important for us so that we will know how we can improve. And so, please, along the way, feel free to type any questions that you may have as we go along these sessions by leaving your comments on the comment box.
That's right. And then for those of you who have already input your questions in the Menti app earlier, and for those who are just joined us tonight, maybe you didn't have the chance to actually input your questions, you can type them in the comment box as we go along. All right. So just allow me to share a bit more about Credit Counseling Singapore, or CCS in short. We aim to be a leading charity that fosters financial resilience and a trusted organization for all matters related to debts. And we are a registered charity with the institutions of a public character or IPC status, and we are a member of the National Council of Social Service and CSS. So we've been around for more than 19 years, yes, and we focus on three main areas. Number one, on the restoration of financial well-being of debt distressed individuals and family. Now, at the same time, also we build financial capability by conducting awareness, education awareness, and purpose on touching on topics such as responsible use of credit, prudent money management, and similar to the arrangement that we are having for you, our Facebook Live audience tonight. And at the same time, we also foster financial resilience, right? And this is to be able to withstand and recover various financial challenges. Okay, now at the same time, these are the organizations that we have worked with, right? You can see from a commercial level, Credit Bureau Singapore, the Association of Banks in Singapore. We also work with ministries as well as state boards, right?
Yes, thank you so much for us for sharing with us. What a great job CCS has done and all the supporting organizations. Now, just before we proceed with this evening topic, I would like just to make the following statement. Now, the information presented here is to provide a general awareness and educational purposes, and this does not a take it when this does not constitute a specific financial advice. Now, if there's any mentions of organization, whether is it public or private, or we make any reference to product or number use, they are again used for the purpose of providing illustration to help you and me understand this concept that we are trying to present. Now, also, you are always advised to encourage to consult a licensed financial advisor representative or any relevant government agency and all your family member before you make any major financial institution decisions. So now let's get to the topic tonight. What is buy now pay later, commonly known as BNPL? Now, BNPL services is just another form of credit facilities. It was introduced in 2017. Imagine that's about 6 years by a local fintech startup called Relay. It is often promoted as an alternative to the credit cards. Remember, credit cards, this service I'm talking to about is BNPL usually comes as a mobile apps that you use at the point of making payment, either online store or on the physical store, as long as it is accepted as a payment mode. Now, what BNPL does is it allows you to split the purchases into multiple small payment, usually 3 to 4 installments without, listen, without any interest charges. So, for example, if you buy an item, let's say you buy for a lady, maybe you want to buy a bag. For some guys, maybe you want to buy a mobile device or you want to buy a tablet, and let's say it costs $600. You can opt to pay in four installment, monthly installment. Each month you only pay $150. So take a look, $150 versus $600 upfront. Well, it seems like a fairly affordable, especially if money is tight. So yes, there are late payment fees, and these may range from $10 to $40. And again, it is also different in the sense that some of these fees are fixed amount, and some are actually depending on the outstanding amount. So, in short, buy BNPL allows you to make purchases now. That's why it's called buy now, and then make the payment over the next few months. That's why it's called pay later. So now you have buy now, pay later.
Oh, it sounds really, really interesting, Jonathan, when you say that. And it's commonly marketed as an alternative to credit cards. So what are the differences between utilizing credit cards and utilizing these buy now, pay later schemes? Let's find out together. Well, firstly, let's begin by comparing. Are there any income requirements or not? Well, for credit cards, I think for Singaporeans, typically it's about 30,000 per year. That's the income requirement. I think for PR, it's about 45,000 per year. Now, let's take a look. For BNPL schemes, typically there's no income requirement. Now, just now Jonathan talks about something, right? Interest free. Now, for credit cards, right, interest applies on the outstanding balances and for future purchases. For BNPL, installment payments are interest free. Now, it comes to using credit cards, right? You can buy anything as long as the credit card is accepted, right? You can sometimes people will go overseas for holidays and they will also utilize their credit cards. Now, on the other hand, for BNPL schemes, Jonathan did mention something, right? Most of the time it comes through a mobile app. And when you want to buy, you got to buy these items from participating merchants. Now, there's this thing called credit report. Okay, it's actually been reported under Credit Bureau Singapore. Now, whatever purchases that you make using your credit cards, right, your payments and all that will be reflected in the individual's credit report, right, generated or compiled by Credit Bureau Singapore. Now, on the other hand, whatever purchases that you make using the BNPL schemes, or all these will not be reported or recorded under your individual credit report. Now, who issues credit cards? Well, mainly by banks and financial institutions. And BNPL schemes, on the other hand, it's a service provided by fintech companies. Now, when we talk about all this, right? I think, Jonathan, what do you think? Banks are also competing with BNPL?
Yes, I think so because we have done some research, and then yes, let's show them what is happening.
Well, on the other hand, yes, it is right that BNPL is gaining a lot of popularity, and even banks are adopting a similar model, right, by jumping and offering interest-free installment payments to their customers, right, but still utilizing the credit cards and the installment payments. Compared to BNPL, just now we talk about 3 to 4 installment payments, right? Now, for this one offered by the banks, it can range between 4 months to even 24 months. However, do take note that all the terms and conditions will be very similar to a credit card. For example, the annual income requirement of 30,000 per year. There will be annual fees payable. Okay, and all this is very similar to credit cards, but well, banks are adopting a similar kind of approach because why? They also don't want to lose out to the competitors from the BNPL market as well.
Yeah, it looks like these banks are getting into the bandwagon as well into BNPL, isn't it? So, Fadas, would you advise me to go right now into the BNPL thinking?
Well, I think it's still up to the individual whether you want to utilize this. And these are just known as services or payment services. Now, there are hidden dangers, and these dangers are not seen or easily seen right away. Let's find out what are these dangers. Okay, so firstly, it provides a false sense of affordability. Now, just imagine by splitting the original purchase amount into smaller payments, right? It creates this, okay, because you're unable to really completely track your payments, and then you have different payments from different BNPL merchants, and all these will be input together. So it's difficult for you to keep track of these payments. Okay, and because you say, oh, I just pay like $30, $40 and it's going to be stretched over a period of 4 months, then I go and do my other shopping and realize, hey, there are other items that I also want to go and engage or to buy, right? And in a commentary that was actually shared in Channel News Asia about 2 years ago, I was actually mentioned by our head of agency, Miss Tan Hui Min, right, about all these installment payments that may appear to be more manageable, right, over a period of time, but it can easily spiral into a debt situation. Okay, with a false sense of affordability, it will easily give rise to overspending because the individual may be tempted for other impulsive purchases and normally will go for all the higher price items whenever you look for sales, right? We have all these kind of five sales, six sales coming up and everything, and from then on you will notice that tendency for the individuals to overstretch their own budget, okay, making purchases that they would otherwise not have made in the first place. And from there, you'll notice that it's easy for them to fall into a debt situation. Now, whether you are using BNPL services or even utilizing credit cards, please remember that these are just mode of payments. We are not using our own money, are basically using the bank's money or the BNPL's service providers' money to pay upfront for all these items that we are purchasing. So once you cannot control your impulse to shop, it's easy for you to actually, chalk up an expensive debt. Now, let's get on into the ask away, right?
Yes, time to ask away your
We have
questions.
already some questions that
Yep.
we have from our Menti app, and I think let's just go through some of it. Some of the questions are quite similar. So, what Jonathan and I did is that we actually lumped them together. I think we have a first question. What's the first question that we need to address tonight, Jonathan?
Yes, we have some very interesting questions which will address. But right now, I just want you not to lose focus with the interesting questions, but you can also key in your questions along the way that when we are speaking and some questions that pop up in your head, key them in the comment box and we will try to look at it and address them accordingly as well. So just remember while you're listening, key in your questions here, participate. There is a questions. Let's go into these questions, which is okay. You mentioned for us that there is such a thing called credit report. Now, can you share with me more about what is this credit report?
Okay, so this user actually asked, or this attendee actually asked this question on credit report. I think it was highlighted in one of my presentation
Yeah,
just
that's
now,
right
right?
there, right? Yep.
Okay. So what a credit report actually indicates? Okay, now firstly we need to understand. Now it contains a record of the borrowing, right? And also the credit payment history. For example, if I were to take up some personal loans with banks, or I have some credit cards with banks, right? All this will be indicated in my credit report. Now, at the same time, it will also show my payment pattern, whether I make the full payment, or whether I only make the partial payment when I get my statement due date, or I don't make any payments at all. Now, all this information is compiled from all the various member banks and financial institutions, and it all will be generated into a report. Right, this report you can actually download it on your own. It's purchased at about $8.64, including GST, and you can purchase it from Credit Bureau Singapore. Now, what's so unique about this report is that it will also indicate generate a credit score, right? It will showcase my overall credit rating based on my prominence in making payments, based on me getting going through my loan servicing commitments promptly. Now, and lenders or banks will actually check on my own credit report whenever I apply for future credit facilities, when I apply for future loans, or if I'm requesting for a higher credit limit. Now, please do take note that whatever transactions in terms of payments that you make towards your BNPL merchants or providers will not be highlighted in your individual credit report. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for us for giving us the great and detailed explanation. So this credit report is actually quite useful because it track my spending of my credit card, and also some of the loan. But BNPL is not inside there. Am I right?
That's right, Jonathan. Hey, we have
Okay, good.
let's move on to the next question. I
Right.
think this one is quite new, just came in a while ago. I think referring to that just now we were talking about who regulates or the credit cards. Right? Credit cards is
Ah,
issued by banks and is regulated by the Monetary Authority of Singapore. Now the question is that who regulates the BNPL services here in Singapore or the providers?
Oh, excellent, excellent questions. Because now credit card is regulated by MAS. How about BNPL? Are they regulated? Are they legit? Are they real? Are they safe to use? Now, to explain that, okay, BNPL don't really have a regulation of law onto it, but they have come up with this thing called Code of Conduct. Now, this Code of Conduct outlines the best practices for BNPL provider, and it was introduced in October 2022, just last year, and it has already taken effect in 1st November 2022. So this code of conduct is already effective. Now, this code of conduct was actually developed by the Singapore FinTech Association, SFA. Now remember, this BNPL is actually provided by fintech company. So the Singapore FinTech Associations and 8 of the industrial players, with the guidance of the MAS, come up with this code of conduct. Now, what is this code of conduct? Some of this it covers. For example, age limit. Now, BNPL services will only be provided to customer age 18 and above. So if you are 17, you have to wait for another years. Okay, 18 and above. Now, how about credit worthiness? Now, each BNPL provider will permit customer to accumulate no more than $2,000 in outstanding payment per platform at any given time. So that they are trying to cap the amount of you using. So that's capped at $2,000 per platform at any given time. Now, if you want to have more than that, then you have to complete an additional credit assessment. What is this additional credit assessment? It consider, among others, a customer's income information and the credit information shared across all BNPL firms. Now, if a customer fails to meet any payment obligation, that means you didn't pay lah, the BNPL provider will suspend his or her access. That means cannot use it lah. So the use of its BNPL services will have to terminate, or rather stop for a while. So now access to this will only be reinstated after the customer shows that he or she is up to date. That means you have paid up to date with all the payment due or overdue and has shown appropriate payment ability. So these are the code of conducts to help if I can we can use the word guide the BNPL users.
Mm. Jonathan, as compared to credit cards, I think I also forgot to mention this, right? For credit cards, a minimum income requirement is 3,000 per year, but the age is about 21 and above.
Yes.
Now, you just mentioned a while ago for the age limit for BNPL services is 18 and above, and I think you only need to either have a debit card or a credit card, and then you can, sign up for these services, and you can actually start doing your online shopping, right? I think the
Uh,
requirements they ask you to download is this thing called the My Info app. I think they're going to download information from the My Info app. And then I think once they give you approval, you can actually start doing your online shopping. We have another question, Jonathan.
right, right.
Allow me to just share with the. I think this is actually one of the common questions, but we kind of look put it, everything together. And this question says that, you mentioned about all these dangers, and there might be some consequences of using the BNPL services, and they are just a mode of payment. Now, how can I be, if I want to use these services, how can I use them in a responsible manner? Yeah, that's the question.
Yes, this is a very responsible questions. It also shows that you are very responsive to what we have been talking, and you are asking about how can I use BNPL responsibly. That's an excellent questions because it is a facilities. It is a tool. If we use it well, it will serve us well. And if we do not know how to use it well, then we may get into some undesirable consequences, right? So now let's take a look again. BNPL is easy to use. It is simple to apply, a small amount of upfront payment, and then it is interest free. So it is easy, therefore, to lose track of one's purchases. And it is also easy to make impulsive or unrelated purchases, because along the way when you make one purchases, there'll be other offer and things that comes along, and then you click. All you need to do is tap and drop them into the shopping cart. So it's easy to make impulsive and unneeded purchases. So what are the something I can do to be responsible as a BNPL user? Now, first thing is keep track of all your purchases. Now, remember how many items you have already made in total. That is to say, you need to know what you have purchased. Now, secondly, you can also do that is to remember that are these purchases within your budget. What I mean by that is that before you make any purchases, you should have already budgeted them. If you have not done so, it can fall under impulsive or unnecessary or unneeded purchases. So before you make any purchases, take a look and consider your budget. Have you actually budgeted that? Now, thirdly, you can do is actually keep track of your payment. It is important to keep track of your payment, to make your payment on time each month. Why? Then you will not need to get into the late payment, and you do not have to pay the late fee charges or the late payment fees. Okay, so then in all, to be responsible in your BNPL uses, do not use BNPL as a future income. Remember, it is a form of credit facilities. At the end of the day, you need to make payment for all these purchases. I hope this helps.
All right, I
Is there
think we
any
have
question?
one more question. I think we have a from our Facebook. I think there is a question.
Right.
In the event that the person files for a debt repayment scheme or a DCP, right? DCP is actually offered by banks. It's called a debt consolidation plan.
Oh, okay.
Now, in the event if that happens, will the BNPL outstanding balances, be added in? Okay, so the information that we can share with you right now is that, oh, definitely when it comes to bankruptcy, for example, right? All the creditors of the bankrupt will want to recover their money owed in total, and you have to file a proof of debt in court. Now, under bankruptcy, for filing, right, there will be a Ministry of Law will publish a notice which will be placed in the newspaper. So I'm sure that all the creditors who are involved will be placing in or will want to actually file a proof of debt, which will be the by the bankruptcy administrator. Okay, now these are the information that I can share with you offhand right now. Okay, there's no other questions in
Yeah.
our Facebook right
Yeah, I
now.
was just looking at the Facebook. There is no questions
Yes.
there coming
All
from
right.
there as well. Yep.
All right. So I think we'll just do a bit of a recap and a reminder. I think Jonathan is gonna do a recap for us. Jonathan.
Yes, please allow me. We have shared quite a lot of things, so just let me do a reminder here. Is that the topic for tonight is actually no cash. Should I buy now and pay later? Now we shared that BNPL is getting popular, but do remember when making purchases using BNPL, we are incurring a debts, and it becomes a responsibility to honor the debts. We also highlighted that there are danger in using BNPL, that it is easy to lose track of your spending. Therefore, you need to be disciplined to keep track and keep up with the payment due. We also recommend to use a budget to monitor and to track your payment. Now, use BNPL responsibly. We have also already shared, because you don't want to end up buy now, pay later.
I think that's a good wrap up, Jonathan. Right? BNPL buy now, pay later, but we do not want to end up buy now and pay later. All right. So we sincerely hope that the information that we shared and the questions that come in has been beneficial for all of you. All right. So when it comes to addressing a debt problem, now if you know of anyone who is struggling from a debt problem, now we'll tell them or inform them that help is just a step away, or anyone can actually sign up for free free to attend any of our weekly talks in webinars or even on site, right? If you're keen to attend a session, I will just share in a while. So this session or this webinar or talk actually focuses on providing reliable and relevant information on how to address a debt problem, what are the various debt settlement options, and how to arrange for a credit counseling appointment, right? A free session where you get to actually discuss, take stock of your financial situation and assess your payment capacity, as well as to explore what are the feasible solutions in addressing debts. Okay, you can always come forward and reach out to us. And tomorrow night we do have a talk. Right now, this is a physical on-site talk held at our CCS premise from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Jonathan did mention a while ago that we're going to share a QR code because we really want you to provide us with the feedback on our Munch and Learn tonight. But at the same time, if you want to attend this talk on 18th of May tomorrow, 7:30 to 9 p.m., do let us know and we'll send you the necessary information in a while. Okay. Now, moving
So
towards financial resilience, well, you can always follow and like us on Facebook and tell your friends and your family members about us, right? By liking and following us on Facebook, you also will have access to our past Munch and Learn bite-sized money management videos, right? You can see an array of videos in Facebook and you can view them. And we all talk about some bite-sized money management tips that you can share with others. And at the same time, in our collaboration and partnership with National Silver Academy, CCS also conduct courses for young seniors, right, approaching retirement on the financial adequacy, as well as we also talk about the importance of managing their mental health and aging positively. Now, if you are keen to have us on board, right, your organization or your staff, we would want CCS to come on board and provide talks on financial well-being, well, do hook up with us and drop us an email at education@ccs.org.sg. All right, so this is the QR code. Jonathan, tell them what you need to do.
yes, all you need to do, scan this QR code, or you can go to the Facebook comment box. We should have put the link there already where you can click and do the online feedback survey. We really, really treasure your feedback survey. So please give us the feedback survey. Okay, so take 1 minute, do that for us. Give us a feedback so that we can see how we can improve along the way. So can you do that? Just give me a second. I'm going to paste the feedback survey link.
All right, so those of you who managed to scan the QR code shown on the screen,
Okay, is there feedback link? Is there also in the?
in
Yep.
the comment box, you can also access it. You can click on the link. We really appreciate your feedback. And do let us know if you're keen to attend the talk tomorrow night. On debt management talk on tomorrow night, let us know so we can provide you with the details. And we have an important announcement that we would like to make. Now, if you're wondering when will be our next Munch and Learn Ask Away edition, well, we're going to take a short break in June, right? June, school
Yes,
holidays.
Munch and Learn is once every month, but June is very special. We want you to spend some time with your children because it's children's school holiday. So we will take a break for June holiday, and then we will come back on July, okay, 23rd. So watch out for our
All right.
announcement of the topic. We actually have a topic in mind already, but we would like to invite you to key in some of the topic that you want us to share in the comment box. Then we can pick it up from there, and if it is relevant and we can schedule in, we will do that for you. Okay. Otherwise, take 1 minute of your time before you go off. Give us your feedback. It's very, very important for us.
All right, so follow and like us on Facebook as well. We'll let you know on with regards to the next session of our Mind Channel Ask Away happening in July. Once all of that has been firmed up, we'll be publishing it also on our Facebook event page. Now, with that, we are signing out from our session tonight. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. You guys take care and stay safe.
Yes, have a good evening. Eat well. Keep healthy. Bye.
Bye.